What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for episode 11 of Tigers franchise, and we're here at the World Series. After our disappointing loss in the wild card round to the Blue Jays, they went on to get absolutely housed by the Rangers, who then dusted the Mariners and now find themselves 4 games away from a World Series victory, just like they do in real life. But they'll be facing the Mets here versus an opponent to be named, which we will name here shortly, as the Game 7 between the D-backs and Phillies starts soon here. Trying to squeeze this in before that game, and want to get everything going here. So I wanted to show off the World Series, get into the offseason a little bit, see where the arbitration shakes out, maybe look at some international amateurs briefly before we really dive into them. Maybe do some awards and kind of just set the tone for the offseason. So let's go ahead and cycle through this playoff. Oh, I do have a few updates, believe it or not, since our game. So we had gone for Odaner Mosquito as a waiver claim, and we got him. Not, a god or anything, but a nice quality arm that I thought was worth having as a lefty, 25 years old. Interestingly enough, that same day, or the day we got our claim to go through on him, there was another guy, Nick Vespi, who was available, another lefty that I was like, wow, he might be even better, 75, 50, 60, a little bit older, but, absolutely must get, and the Angels undercut us, swooped in and got him. Good on them making the right move, but man, we almost added 2 key lefties there. To do that, I did DFA Jalen Beeks. We talked about him. He's just not cutting it anymore. He's barely cutting it at AAA. He's a 55, 45, 40. I'm not sure. In fact, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. He's gone. Unfortunate there. The injury just did him in, and it's just no good. All right, game 1 here in Texas. Tyler McGill against Luis Severino for the Texas Rangers. And that game's going to go to the Rangers 3-1. It'll be Kodai Senga against Nathan Eovaldi in game 2. And wow, the Mets tie at 17-13. And I'm one of those people. I know it's cliche, it's hack as hell, but whenever there's a football score, I'm going to say the 2 football teams if it works. So in this case, the Jets or the Giants, they're both garbage. So you can say, oh, well, the Jets aren't as garbage. Since losing Rodgers, we thought their season would be nothing, and it's been better than nothing. The Giants are truly horrible. But anyway, Giants win 17-13 Jets win 17-13 over the Dallas Cowboys. Although I guess it would work better as Giants-Cowboys because they're division rivals. But also nobody gives a shit about that. I'm just saying it because it was 17-13, which is an insane World Series game score. Meanwhile, game 3 is going to be Owen White against Max Scherzer, who's still on the Mets, never came to the Rangers in this universe. Let's see what he can do here. And they win 5-4. I say they as if y'all know who the hell I'm talking about. The Mets win 5-4 behind Scherzer there. 6 innings, 4 runs. He was actually okay. Owen White bested him quite a bit. It was Sam Hentges who absolutely got smoked for Texas. Game 4, Texas needs a win here. Can they tie it up against German Marquez? They have Kumar Rocker throwing for them. Let's see what happens here in game 4. The Mets win 1-0. Wow, what a game. What a series this has been already. It's 4 games. It's 3-1. So, obviously the Mets are on the cusp, but it's been a really interesting series. It was 3-1, 17-13, 5-4, 1-0. So all close games and a variety of games. You got the crazy high scoring, you got crazy low scoring, and then you got a couple kind of in between. Do the Mets close it off here with McGill facing off against Severino again? They do. 2-1, another brilliant game. So this is one of those rare World Series that goes a short amount of games, but still ends up being a really gripping, interesting series. I could see loving all 5 of these games. And, as a neutral observer, not a Rangers fan who's obviously going to be upset by the loss, thinking that was a brilliant series, even though it was over relatively quickly. Pete Alonso gets the series MVP. He ripped a couple homers, went 3 for 10. Couple homers for Josh Young on the other side there. He went 3 for 8. So they were kind of spreading the playing time. If he only had 8 plate appearances, why not keep playing Josh Young? Would be a question I would have, but okay. And how does Pete Alonso only get 10 at-bats in 5 games? Did he walk a ton or is he not playing? Okay, look. Oh, that's in season. The millisecond I was about to get snarky, making fun of the game, it clicked. My brain, for once, jumped out in front and said, hey, before you make yourself look blindingly stupid and wrong, go back and see if it's on season or playoffs. It was on season. Now we go back to the playoffs, and all of that's going to be corrected. We see Pete Alonso, still MVP, of course. He hit 3 homers, actually, but he was 5 for 23. So not much on the batting average, but his power really drove it. They were all in wins, the homers were. So I think that kind of adds to it as well. And they just didn't have a lot of offensive standouts despite that big 17-run game. They had a bunch of solid batting average guys, but no major run in or home run and RBI guys outside of Alonso's 3 and 9 respectively. Nathaniel Lowe had a couple homers for Texas, and then a few guys went off, Justin Foscue, Corey Seager, but it was not enough. So there you go. That's the playoffs. Mets go 4-1 to defeat the Rangers. The Rangers were 91 and 71. The Mets were 87 and 75. It was a tight league. The Dodgers at 96 and 66. The next best team in baseball was in their division. The Padres at 93 and 69. And then a bunch of us kind of living in that high 80s to low 90s range there. It was a really, really tight league, and that's interesting. I wonder if that added to our ability to kind of compete with a, not top shelf team. Like, I like our crew, I like where we're headed, but we were not top shelf, and I think that was exposed in the playoffs. But let's see what we can do here. Let's see what kind of score we get for a nice season. I'm still very happy with how the season turned out. I think we have absolutely nothing to hang our heads about, even getting murked in the playoffs like that. We get a 705 score. They call it a good score, and we did achieve a long-term goal for our team record. We achieved 3 goals. I don't know. It doesn't really say which one, so who knows? I'm sure we're going to get an email about it. Watanabe will count in 2027 as long as we still have him. This didn't happen here, but I've had it happen before, where I achieve a bunch of the goals that are years out, and then I don't get credit for them, and then by the time that they do come due, I have fallen from that stature, and I'm like, dang it, I had that, only to then lose it. Take a quick look at the waiver wire, because the offseason waiver wire, or the playoff waiver wire, has been delivering some goods. DJ Herr's always looking good in OOTP, and if his control ever develops, he's a stud. Otherwise, he usually looks like this, where, it's highly volatile, but the upside is there. You can see it in 40 2/3 this year. He also throws left, a lot of lefties. Kittredge kind of goes the finesse route. He's the opposite way. He's still out with torn flexor tendon for 5 months, so he's a no-go. Brendan McKay was going to be a two-way stud. Injuries ate him up. It'd really be hers or nothing. Hers is still just 23. Still got opties, too. You know what? Let's take a shot. We'll throw him down in the minors. Nope, rejected. Somebody else already got him. Okay, good on the league. You should not be letting a playoff participant just swoop in and get these good players if you're one of the lower end teams. So good on them for jumping that. Oh, we're retiring number 35 in honor of Justin Verlander. I don't want to say I've never seen it, because I would have to recall like everything I've ever done in this game, which I certainly can't do. But I can't instantly recall a number being retired for me and getting an email about it. This is fantastic. I love it. For those of you that don't know, Justin Verlander is my favorite pitcher ever. Curtis Granderson, my favorite player. So very cool. I co-signed that 1,000,000%. Speaking of Chris Ilitch, let's take a look at these owner goals. See how we did on them. Team record, yeah, we did do that. Riley Green was our upgrade in center. Okay, cool. Watanabe. Okay, so do we get credit for these then? Maybe we do get credit for them even if they are ahead of schedule. I don't know. Build the farm up. I know. We need to do that. That's still very bad. Okay, I think that's all good. What about the budget? 200 million total, about 120 mil on the payroll. What's that do for us? Not much, I don't think. Okay, at current rates, that would leave us at about 14 million available next year. And that's losing our top shortstop, who put up a nice 3.5 win season. One of our Meadows brothers, the one who put up 3 WAR, the elder, Austin Meadows. So they're both gone. So we need to replace actually third base and left field because that's where we had Adames. It says Soroka 4.4 on arbitration. We're definitely not paying that. So if that's what he costs, he's gone. So we could slice another 4 off that. Let's just call it 100. Let's say we got about 20 mil right now, because I'm not sure I'm going to pay McKinstry 3.2 either. Actually, yeah, I probably will. That's not terrible for a utility player. Okay. It's not a ton, but we can work with it. I mean, we took this crew to the playoffs. Lose a couple pieces, maybe make some moves. I think it's workable. I think 120 is not horrendous. I think we're still in an affordable position. Obviously, we got the albatross of Baez hanging around our necks. We got the Watanabe contract that we wanted. He's got 2 more years before an opt-out. If he plays like he did this year, he's definitely gone after that opt-out. So we got to make the most out of that. We got some other guys going up with arbitration. That's okay. But we'll work around some other things. Okay, I'm cool with that. Speaking of arbitration, take a quick look over here. See a bunch of guys. You know, are we paying Casey Mize $6 million coming off of elbow reconstruction? I don't think so. I think we're non-tendering him. I think I can say that off rip right now, that I will withdraw that offer. I can't imagine that we're going to do that. I mentioned Soroka. I'm not paying that right now. Like, Soroka's okay, and in a world where I have more money, I can even see a universe where $4 million is not crazy for him in the right circumstance. This is not that circumstance. It's just not. So, all right, but I'll do all this offline and then do a big revamp, or kind of cover it top to bottom on the next episode there for sure, because I'll also do all the minor league signings here. All right, so from here, I think we want awards and a recap of the team, because I did not do that before the playoffs. Showed the screen a few times, but we did not do a deep dive. So let's kind of see where we're at, or how the team was, and kind of assess how we feel about these guys going forward next year. Let's take a look at a few more emails real quick. Member retiring, a couple personnel that are leaving. We knew about that. That's fine. End of season top 25 or top 100 list. Look at Noble Meyer popping up very high there to the with the Braves. He's actually a Marlin in real life. No one for us in the top 10, and just Keith and Schuster in the top 100. So we're back to 29th. So that's not good. That's not good. We need to push up with some of these guys here. And I'm going to need you to really step it up. Mark Connor. I think you really need to bring home a big prospect or two this year from what we've got. You know, like, we need to see some big development, or we might need to make a change. And I would probably make that change in season, because you never want to start at the beginning of an off season with a brand new scout. That is the kiss of death. I hate that, because you got to get all the scouting back, and it's brutal because it goes back to 0. All right, then the offseason and arbitration. Okay, so team review. Let's go around the diamond here. Our catching duo, they were pretty similar. Dylan Dingler and Jake Rogers, at least in the composite. 83 WRC plus for Dingler, 80 for Rogers. Rogers was the primary starter. He had 15 homers and 395 plate appearances. Dingler had 205 plate appearances, but by the end of the year, he had emerged to be the number 1 guy. So that's why he is in green right now. He was the starter, I believe, in the playoff games, and he's kind of ascended to that top role. And I am thinking that with Rogers going into ARB and being a very fair, like, $3 million, again, that's not a bad price. But for a team that's chopping every nickel and making sure that we're the most efficient that we can be, I don't think that that's where I want to spend money when I can replicate Rogers for league minimum. I can. I really feel like we can. Over at first, we have Colt Keith. Now, he did not have a good cup of coffee with us, just a 78 WRC plus, but he's 23 years old. He's one of our only 2 top 100 prospects. We have some love for him. We're excited about what he can do. He's at least going to be playing regularly next year, if he's not the outright starting first baseman. Still got love for my boy Torque. don't know if you guys can read it because I'm sure it's pretty small up there, especially if you're watching on mobile, but it says Torx Bombs. It's a t-shirt from RotoWare supporting the old Torquemeister. So yeah, I still have some faith in him. He'll be 25. This will be his age 25 season. We're giving him more leeway there, but maybe, Cole Keith, actually, we're losing Austin Meadows. Keith could end up becoming the primary DH. Torque still having first base, and then we kind of look at it that way. Watanabe over at second, obviously he's a lock. Put up a huge 6.3 win season in his debut with us. 43 bombs, 104 ribbies, 120 runs, slash line of 270, 360, 555. Just excellent stuff. High adaptability, work ethic, intelligence. He's a fan favorite. Everything is there. That's why we made the big outlay on him and signed him. And we went in big, and it panned out beautifully in year one. Hope it can continue, and maybe he carries us to another playoff berth next year. Willie Adames over at third. He'll need to be replaced right now unless we bring him back. 3.4 WAR, 102 WRC plus. Kind of the guy he's been the last couple years, right? He has kind of found a plateau, and it's a really solid plateau. Nice quality 3-win player. He's a captain. It's the kind of guy you do want, but at what cost? So right now it's saying that we can't even make the signing. Now we have to have all the dust settle and everything. I actually disagree. I mean, if we really do have 120 for payroll, then I'm not entirely sure why we can't afford 14.6 based on what our expected money is. But again, we're going to have some things maneuver. I think we'll have a chance to take a crack at him. I'm certainly not committing 5 years. I'll probably try to do like a 1-in-1. So, like meaning 2 with the team option on the second one there. But we'll see. I don't know. Problem is, as much as I do like Adames, both in the game and I'm a real life fan of him, that might be most of our money. And it's not a bad investment to put $14 million on 3 wins. You know, the general rule of thumb is that 1 WAR is between 8 and 10 million, depending on how you value it. It's not a hard, fast number that is ironclad, but that's a general notion. So we're definitely making our money back on that, but we might need to fill more than 1 hole. So we'll see how that goes. Javi Baez did put up 2.1 WAR despite a 68 WRC plus. Just absolutely horrendous at the dish. His defense and base running value is enough to keep him positive, and we'll take it. Even at your most generous dollars per WAR calculation, say something in the 10, 11 range, you're still falling short of the 25 million here with him at 2.1 WAR. So that's on the high end too, at the most generous you can be. Over in left, we have Akil Baddoo. He put up an 83 WRC plus, 1 win on the button for 320 plate appearances. Not a terrible utility fielder, but certainly not emerging into anybody that we can really kind of pin any hopes on. In fact, he did his best work against lefties when I was trying to stifle his playing time against them because it's a 48 plate appearance sample. I don't think he's actually, worth playing against lefties. He just happened to run hot this past year. So putting up an 80 WRC plus against righties really hurts. Riley Green over in center, our other superstar with Watanabe. They're our 1-2 punch of absolute studs. He puts up 4.7 WAR, a career best 137 WRC plus. Having Watanabe there as kind of that 1-2 punch really helped Green break out, and they both went off this year. Parker Meadows over in right. His defense carries him as well, though not to a huge standard at 1.1 WAR, 89 WRC plus. The bat probably kind of is what it is, so he's going to have to be one of those guys that derives his value via defense. I'm not against that, but we come into the season basically with 7 hitters max, and probably closer to 6 because our catchers are not particularly strong at the dish. Of course, that is exactly where you the spots that you would trade the offense for defense. Well, you prefer center over right, but short and catcher, absolutely, right? Those are the 2 positions first and foremost that you would trade it, and then center field. And right field still has value, but I think second base would still be ahead of that on the defensive spectrum. But as long as you have a high-quality right fielder, there's still value in having him there. I wonder if maybe putting him in center to really get the most out of his value, especially with that 75 range. I think that is the case. I think we make him our very own Pete Crow Armstrong, and we put Meadows and Green over into right. Even though he's only got a 50 arm, I think we make that move just to maximize Meadows' value. And then his brother, Austin Meadows, put up a hell of a season. 3 wins, 118 WRC plus, stayed healthy. Excellent season going into his free agency. I'm fairly certain we're going to let him walk. Sentimentality of having both brothers is cool, but we don't have the kind of budget to do cool things like that, right? If we're a Dodgers team where we can afford to kind of overpay for, secondary pieces on the roster, maybe. But even they don't really do that. That's why they're the Dodgers and they're so great, because they still spend like a lower budget team. That's why they maximize, and that's why they're so good. At the top end, they'll still overspend for like the premium prospects, but not even they are necessarily going to be trying to pay 18 mil for like Meadows. In real life, they go out and they find David Peralta and Jason Hayward to rejuvenate. So maybe that's a bad example to say them, but you know what I mean? Like, higher budget teams can afford luxury items like an Austin Meadows. We just can't right now at the money that we have. Talked about Rogers and Torque. McKinstry's a backup, 95 WRC plus, minus 0.2 WAR. So he is that classic utility fielder that bounces around because he's not very good anywhere. It seems like maybe fielding was a challenge this year because it didn't really add to his value. How much did he play? Did he DH a bunch? Because he had 495 plate appearances. Yeah, he must have been DHing. I thought it would say, obviously there's no defensive stats for it, but I thought it listed how many games you played at DH. Maybe it does here. Under splits? No, I guess not. But that has to be it, right? It just has to. Oh, they should definitely list the position here in the game log. Yeah, there he is. It just has to be DH. I don't know why I'm still looking for it as if I'm not confirmed. It's 100% that. Jermaine Palacios, standard glove only infielder backup. Doesn't hit much. Doesn't need to. He's 26th man type. We'll see if he's around next year. Justin Henry Malloy, still have some love for him. He'll be going into his age 25 season next year. So he's still young enough to develop. Got a great eye, but a lot of swing and miss, not much pop. I'm not sure if the bat's really going to develop, but we'll see. Maybe we can have him as a nice little 4 corners guy that's first, third, left, and right, that kind of plays 3 to 4 times a week, does a little bit of damage. See if we can find a great spot for him to flourish, mostly against lefties. We'll kind of go from there. Matt Vierling, another backup who does best against lefties. Now, he's a quality defender, and he plays more than just 4 corners. He can play first, left, right as his best positions. Like, he's good at all of those. Then he can get you by in center, third, and maybe even second, but you're really pushing it to play him at second base. He's got enough arm to play third, and then 55 range, again, you don't want him out in center, but you can live with it in a one-off game type scenario. The pitching side. Let's expand back out. We'll go to 6-man in the offseason because I like to slot in our top 6 so we know what we're dealing with. Just kind of look by stamina real quick. I wonder if Madden gets a starting shot next year. I mean, he's so bland. He's probably just better off in the bullpen. Hook 'em horns, though. Job start time, maybe? I don't know. Silseth, I just love out of the bullpen, so I think I'm going to continue to use him there. We'll go Ashby. I mean, this is not the order. Don't get hung up on this order or anything. These might not even be the 6 guys. I'm just kind of putting that together there so we have some order as we go into analyzing the season. We'll go by innings count. Tariq Skubal at the top, 174 and 2/3, 3.92 ERA, 117 WHIP. Hell of a season. He was just great for us. Very excited about what he can do. I still think he can be a frontliner for us. Nice little 3-win campaign for him. Aaron Ashby, 169 in the third, 298 ERA, 109 whip. Excellent year. He was the hit suppressing god with a 7.2 hits per nine and a 272 BABIP, both of which led the league. So great year for Aaron Ashby there. Soroka, 163 innings, our third leading innings total. And like I said, I don't know if I want to pay him $4 million. It's not even that he's not worth it. It's just that I think we can replace him, within the organization and then save that $4 million. Sometimes when you're making decisions like that, it's not even an indictment on the player. It's that you can replicate him elsewhere for cheaper. Jackson Jobe, 143 innings of a 3.59 ERA, 120 whip. He had a pretty solid season, 2.5 wins, inching closer to 3-win season. I like to see that. He's only 22. In fact, it'll be his age 22 season next year. So he's very young. Nice little swingman season for Jackson Jobe. Got plenty of high hopes for him. Definitely think he can be a big piece for us next year again. Ronnie Enriquez in a big swingman role. 10 starts, 22 relief appearances. 129 and 2/3 innings, 361, 132 ERA and whip. Not a bad year. Nice 2.5 win type season. Very useful. Chase Silseth, my guy, 81 relief appearances for 125 innings. Old school stopper. I love it. The ratings are starting to get a little light, though, with the double 45s in movement and control. And it does give me some pause about if he can continue at this level. 360, 113 ERA whip. When you're delivering that many innings, I can take a higher ERA. But I am kind of capable of finding a stopper who can give me that kind of volume at a sub 3 ERA. So we'll see. And I'm not judging everything off ERA. A 113 whip is good. 26% K rate. There's value there. I'm not necessarily moving off of Silseth, but he might not be the A guy next year. Drew Rom, 111 in the third innings, 348, 119 ERA whip. Nice season for the lefty. 16% strikeout minus walk. He's got really good stuff. I'm actually kind of surprised that with 70 slider, 55 sinker, 55 splitter, it's only a 50 stuff. But part of that is because he dominates lefties. And I think the game values your work against righties more because it lives in the world where you're going to face 2/3 righties versus lefties because that's the normal breakdown. So it makes sense why it does that. But that's why you can kind of look at some of these numbers and be like, why are his pitches so good? Decent velo, 91, 93 out of the bullpen is not great. And we'll say it's actually a little bit below average. But you'd be like, well, why isn't he closer to like a 60 or even straight up 55 stuff? He's 50 with 55 potential. I think it's that split that's doing it in the case of CD-ROM. So we'll continue to leverage him, though, as one of our premier lefties. I really like the season that he gave for us. Brant Herter had some ups and downs. We stuck with him, and we were rewarded, 367 ERA and a 113 whip in 83 innings. Great work from the lefty, 21% strikeout minus walk, extreme ground ball, great command, lots to like out of Brant Herter. Ty Madden, Hook 'em Horns, mentioned him earlier. 82 innings in 47 appearances. Love that. But the ratings profile is a bit bland, despite the beautiful 198 ERA and solid 120 whip. That whip, though, at 120 tells you that the ERA is fortunate, let's just say. Look at a 387 FIP. That tells the real story. He was running pretty hot. He had a pretty nice ERA, but we cannot bet on that again with a 13% strikeout minus walk. Aaron Savali, he's somebody who could maybe start for us. He's a control artist with that 65 control. That does a lot of good to cover up for the 50 stuff, 45 movement. Our park helps with the 45 movement as well. It would be more of a 4-5 starter that we would be, not having crazy expectations of, but he put up a 4.10 ERA, 127 whip. I would take that again all day. I have no problems with that from Aaron Savali, so we'll see what he looks like coming into next year. Nate Pearson, we picked up off of waivers back in August. Had him pitching out of the bullpen, and he was excellent. Then come playoffs, we kind of had to have him start a game, just kind of based on where things were. I don't know that we're going to have him as a starter next year. In fact, I don't think we are. He's slotted here right now, just as kind of a placeholder. 35 stamina in general, I'm not averse to starting. I will do that. But I need more than a 45 control in most cases, or your stuff and movement have to be so off the charts that it can kind of make up for it. Bottom line is I just don't think Pearson has enough to consistently start, or else we're probably just looking at a bunch of 3 to 5 inning outings and consistently coming in under the 5 mark. If we put him back at reliever, you see he jumps up to 65, and then all of a sudden Nate Pearson starts to look like our number 1 stopper next year, if you ask me. Which would move Silseth into, again, still a very valuable role, but just in the middle relief with a, secondary stopper. I'll slot Soroka in there for now. He can placehold there. Swerving Curvin Castro only got 8 2/3 with us in the big leagues. Can't really judge off of that. 50, 70, 45. Nice solid profile. Keeps the ball in the yard. Wish he missed more bats or walked fewer, right? But he doesn't give up homers. So if you can kind of live around the other stuff, at least he won't give up homers very often. Odena Mosqueda, I just talked about him earlier. We just claimed him off of waivers. He pitched with Boston this year. Only 4 innings for the Major League club. Only 17 innings at AAA. He was down in high A for a good bit at age 25, and then they're like, wait a minute, this guy's too good. But then they waived him, and I don't really know why, because he has 2 option years left. So they goofed. I mean, I know why. Their 40 got too full. It's not only about options, but I do wonder if maybe they had somebody better they could have, or worse in this case, that they could have waived to keep Mosqueda, but I don't care because we got him. That's all we care about now. And then Reese Olson only threw 2 innings for us in the majors. 55, 50, 45. Nice 45 stamina. Decent arm. Should factor in the bullpen. Not sure he has enough heat to start. So we've got some pieces here, right? We've got some guys that we are going to be relying upon for the coming years. But we also have some openings. I don't think that we're married to this 14 and this 14 alone again. I don't even think we're keeping Soroka, so that's 1 spot. Actually, that would get us back to 13, and that's assuming we go 13-13. So maybe we don't have a ton of spots without making moves, but we haven't started the offseason yet. We might do a 2-for-1, package some guys, maybe see what's going on there. Because what do we got down in the minors? We got Angel Felipe, who's definitely ready to come up. See what he can do. Wilmer Flores. There's a contender for a rotation spot. 55, 55, 60. Let's move him to starter real quick. It does jump down to 50 stuff, but still, I'll take that. I think Wilmer Flores will definitely be competing for a spot. And I don't need to go through the entire AAA roster, but the bottom line is we got some pitching coming up. I don't know that we have much by way of hitters that I'm really thinking are going to threaten next year. Yeah, Ryan Kreidler, Lane Thomas, Rodolfo Castro, Mario Feliciano. Those were our highest rated guys at AAA. So we'll see how that goes. But we got lots to do for the next season. I think we can get... Can we get to the awards here? Let's see. Oh, here's a quick look at some of the guys that are going to be available. Soto, Tim Anderson, Scherzer, Wheeler, Goldie, Butthead, Moncada, Pablo Lopez. There's Meadows, Danjan. I like Danjan. He's probably going to be too expensive to go for, but he'd be a nice C1 for us if he's affordable. But given how high he rates on that list, I don't know that that's going to be affordable. I'm actually nervous that it won't be. All right, let's do the awards this episode here. Let's go ahead and finish with that. It's going to be a little bit of a tighter episode. Last one was a nice long one for y'all. Plus, like I said, I got that game coming on that I do want to watch. Oh yeah, we also had Alex Lang on our IL. He's going to be back on the team, of course. Edwin Uceta, he's still out for 9 months, so we don't know. Same with Pacheco. So we basically lost those guys for next year. We'll see what they look like, when they even get back. But getting Lang deepens our bullpen too. So we'll see how that goes with him. We've got some pitching that we can look at to maybe consolidate and match it up the best that we can. Arbitration is the 27th. Okay, so we'll still have plenty of time to do all that. Actually, one thing I want to see. We need 6 personnel. I guess it's only 10 more days of game time to get all the way to MVP. I think I can do that. My thinking here of why I'm even hesitating was like, I don't know if I want to allow that much personnel talent to get taken. But I'm thinking we can just find our manager right now, because that's all we need is one manager, right? Oh no, we need two. Like, we could just do the two managers real quick. We got a double outstanding here with Justin McLean. Apparently he loves our FCL Tigers. I'm in for that. Would you do 4 years? Okay. And then the DSL. I'm not going to sign the coaches until later. I'm going to let those run and take my chances. But we'll get the two managers in at least. Ideally. Oh, Bobby Abreu. One of my faves. What a stud he was. He wants to work with the DSL team. What about 5 years? We'll sign you for the long term. All right, we'll see if those guys get in, and then we'll sign the 1, 2, 3, 4 coaches. 2 hitting, 2 pitching after awards. It's going to stop us for those signings, but we'll see how that goes. Watanabe was our only league leader, by the way, as I was looking at that board. And then we had Aaron Ashby on the pitching side, but those were our only league leaders. All right, let's just get the platinum stick right now. Again, it's going to stop us for these. Okay, we got McLean. Oh, no. McLean we did not get. Usually the second email is good to go, but he's saying he wants more money. Dang. All right. FCL manager. 5 years. I'll give you 111. Come on, let's move forward here. Bobby Abreu likes it, and so does McLean. Okay. We're moving now. Oh, hell yeah, we got a gold glove. Justin McLean likes it. Abreu agrees. Dang, someone's going hot after McLean. Someone is going hot after our guy here. And you know what? I get it, because he's really good. And so we're going to pay up. We're going to go 150 here. I mean, we're moving it up. Like, I can pay this. I've got this. I've got this, brother. Rookie of the year has got to be Watanabe, right? Bang. And great bat. Tell me he signed. Oh, we don't have an email, and it's not there, so he's gone. Who signed him? The hitting coach for the Braves. Yeah, you got to take that deal. Yeah, no, I get that. How much is he getting? 3-7. Yeah, okay. That's all totally fair. Even if it wasn't as much, obviously you take that over a management job at the rookie league. I can't even be mad about that, you know? All the good relationship people are gone. So now we'll try Tim Doyle here. Who knows what those extra coaches are going to be like. We're going to go back and look at all the awards at once. Obviously, we're getting alerts to the ones that we've won. That's fine. We knew Watanabe was going to win Rookie of the Year. We're not really surprised there. All right, Tim Doyle likes our stuff so far. Let's go to Cy Young. And he joins our org. And then go to MVP. And then we'll go back and look at all the awards. And then we'll wrap up. Uh-oh. Okay, I thought I was going to die there. Okay, going back. When did the awards first start? Here we go. Gold Gloves. Robbie Ray. Jose Trevino, Matt Carpenter with the Twins, Santiago Espinal, Willie Adames, Carlos Correa, Chaz McCormick, Cedric Mullins, and Adolis Garcia. What a stud. By the way, I couldn't have been more wrong on Adolis Garcia if I tried. If I literally tried to be as wrong as possible, I couldn't have been. So anti him this year, worried about his plate skills, his age. I'm like, this guy's going to flop. Don't draft him in fantasy. Dead wrong. Shouts to you, Adelise. You're a stud. I can eat that fat L. I love watching him play. In the National League, Max Fried, JT Realmuto, Matt Olson, Ha-Sung Kim, Manny Machado, Francisco Lindor, Corbin Carroll, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Jordan Walker, all on the teams that you associate them with. In the American League, it was all their regular teams, except, of course, Adames is on our team, which you all know, and I mentioned Carpenter on the Twins. Best American League reliever, Felix Bautista. Still Seth only got 5th. That's okay. He only had a 3.60 ERA. Don't worry. We'll get some relievers of the year. That's usually my award, but we're just getting started. We're only in year 2. Bautista beat out Munoz, but he had 20 of the first place votes, so he cooked. In the NL, it was Evan Phillips. Yeah, he was disgusting for the Dodgers. He had a 1.31 ERA. That's pretty decent. Uh-oh. Austin Meadows went to the Guru. We already weren't going to sign him, but like this, if we had been working on plans to do so, we would have hard pivoted away from him after this. Nope, I'm out. See ya. Platinum sticks in the American League. Rutschman, Vlad Jr., Watanabe, Devers, Bo Bichette, Joe Adell. I see you, Joe Adell. I wish this would happen in real life. I want Adell to succeed. I don't believe it's going to happen anymore, unfortunately. J-Rod, Aaron Judge, and then Franmil Reyes, the Franimal. Love to see that too. In the National League, JT Realmuto, he got the double dip there. Freddie Freeman, Ketel Marte, Ellie De La Cruz, Trey Turner, Corbin Carroll also got a double dip. James Outman, Mookie Betts, and Shohei Ohtani with the Reds. AL's rookie, our guy swept it, of course, Watanabe. 31st place votes, not even close. Jordan Lawler got 20 out of the 30, 10 going to Ellie De La Cruz. 6.4 WAR and a 128 WRC plus for Lawler. 5 WAR on the button with a 135 WRC plus for Ellie. So Lawler's supplemental skills, his defense, base running, edged him because the offense was like dead even. Oh no, it was actually favoring Ellie. Yeah, so the other things did it for him. Top skipper, AJ Hinch did get it, so that's cool. And Steve Everts is the Cubs coach, and he got it. Cool. Never heard of him. George Kirby, unanimous American League Cy Young after a killer season. 289 ERA, 104 WHIP, both of which led the league. Yeah, you kind of walk home with it on that. You lead both those categories. You can talk about the flaws of both those categories. Neither is perfect. Totally understand. But you don't win both. You don't win the title of both of those and not have a great case to be the Cy, right? Like I can't even, I'm trying to fathom how that would even work, where you'd be like, yeah, but I'm still not entirely sure. Top NL pitchers, Brandon Woodruff. He goes 24-6 with first place votes over Aaron Nola. He put up 227 in the third innings of a 2.93 ERA. Those both led the league. 122 WHIP was a little bit high, but everything else was on point. He just had a pretty high hit rate. Defense maybe wasn't helping him out. Nola, for his part, put up 214 innings of a 3.32, 1.13 ERA WHIP. And then the MVPs. Watanabe was third, but no first place votes for him. Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette took care of that. Remember, we did not have to face Vlad Jr. in the playoffs, and we still got cooked. Imagine what would have happened if he had been there. But yeah, those two guys deserved it. They were unbelievable. Watanabe gets third. Riley Green's way down ballot, and those are our only two guys. And then Corbin Carroll gets a National League MVP. He led the league in WRC+, WAR, OPS, runs, average, OBP. Just pure brilliance. I mean, that's Corbin Carroll. Shohei was second. He did get one first place vote. And you know what? That person was correct. As great as Carroll was, I just got done gassing him up. It's Shohei. This is a terrible vote that he only got one. He puts up a 132 WRC plus, 45 homers, 115 ribs, 271, 347, 528 with a 3.82 ERA and a 117 WHIP for 221 innings. That is so far and away the guaranteed MVP, it's not even funny. They shouldn't have even voted. You just give it to him. Because any vote that isn't him is what we call mind-numbingly stupid. And that is where the vote is so comically wrong in every conceivable way that your brain smooths itself out and just goes dark. Because wow, that is terrible. I'm sorry. There is no room for debate on that. A season like this that Ohtani puts up is the MVP every single year, and it's not even close. You don't even have to vote. I'm so serious on this. I'm so striding on it because it's just a fact, right? Like it's not even a hot take. I'm not even like trying to be edgy with it. It should be so common sense. I can't believe it's not. A guy is a superstar on both sides. And you can say, okay, 3.82 ERA is not necessarily whatever. Star, superstar, like superstar hitter, star pitcher. I don't give a shit. Even if it's star. You know, if you're star on both sides, you are the guaranteed MVP. The game saw it differently, though, and I disagree. But anyway, those are the awards. That's a little off-season primer. We've got plenty to do. I will get that started, get into a bunch of it. We'll get into the ARB. We'll see where that dust settles. Then we'll see what we're going to do with free agency. Maybe some trades pop up. We'll deep dive into a whole bunch of it on the next episode. Appreciate y'all watching. Have a good one.